Well, no, wait till it comes up on the screen. It's a bit of a delay. I have a treat for you guys. Not sure if I saved this. Oh, let's change this stuff. Yay! Alright, so last week I had some weird issues that I got resolved with some noise floor hum that I was getting. I just put a noise gate on that input, so that solved all the issues. Anyways, so I have a special treat for you today, and we're gonna first look at the master of this track here, and then we're gonna dive into the mix. Now, the reason I'm showing you this is because it's probably not going to be released for a while, but this is kind of how far along I can make the songs without all of the pieces. See, originally this was going to be a song where the artist wanted to have a feature there, but I might have convinced him otherwise. I don't know. We'll see in the future. But this is what we got so far, and it's really, really good. And I'm really excited to show it to you. So I'll show you the master, and then we'll dive into the mix and just kind of go through it piece by piece, all right? Let's get to it. All right. Got to get rid of that hum now. Phone hum. All right. So now we're in the computer. All right. So I clipped the tops of the transients off here, and not by much, just by like a little bit, just so it's kind of even. As you can see, it's nice and even throughout the rest of the waveform now. I did lower the clip gain a bit so that the compressor could react to it appropriately and everything. So these are the settings I have for that. Let's just look at this. Let's listen to it real quick here. Should I go through the whole mastering stage? Let's try it. Let's just shut everything off. All right, so this is just after it's been clipped.
Yeah. What's that? I'm the one. I'm a breath of fresh air. Yeah. Pull up a chair. Pull up. You gon' wanna fuck with me. Can't hate me if you want it. When the world want it. Cause you gon' wanna fuck with me. I'm a breath of fresh air. Pull up a chair. You gon' wanna fuck with me. That for sure. Can't hate me if you want it. When the world want it. Cause you gon' wanna fuck with me. You know, fly press like a new suit off the rack. Private jets with a new coupe in the back. Keep a vest, niggas dang got proof of that.
You hear how milky that gets? I've been really liking this Shadow Hills mastering compressor. I want to get the actual mastering one with the mid side in it, but this is fine. This is really good. But after that, I did some experimentation with some different analog emulations. I have some very low settings on Vertigo. This one's doing... Okay, so this one's doing just the low, just saturating the low end just a little bit, all over. And this is saturating just the sides of the high mids. Let's solo out and see what that sounds like. So basically that's adding... adds a nice little bit of sizzle to everything. I kind of like that a lot. I tend to use Vertigo in a lot of my masters, but I've been kind of straying away from it lately, using more Ozone's Exciter and the Triode. And now I've got this. I'm not doing too much. I'm boosting a little bit here at 200 with the shelf, and got a very broad queue, and I don't have hardly any gain on this. I'm not adding hardly any gain to whatever that is. I don't want to move it because I like this the way it is. Oh, screw it. Let's do this. Let's do this. I'll double it, shut this one off, exit this, make sure we're messing with just this one. And this says, okay, it's about 1,000 hertz, broadest queue. Okay, so it was like 0.8 and 1.3 down here. Okay. Now I can just delete this one. Let's see what this one's adding to it, all right? It adds a bunch of vocal presence to that. I like it. It's really nice and mid-rangey. That's the word I'm looking for. Okay, so as you can see, all I have here is just like a mid-side EQ. I didn't even do my left-right separation yet. Let me do that quick, because that's going to help it feel a bit wider without causing any phasing issues. Let's do this. Now we'll turn this off and on. Listen to this. Oh, we're not even listening to the EQ at all. Hold on. So it's a bit darker without this EQ here, but I'm not doing a whole lot. As you can see, there's only one point where I'm actually cutting anything. And it's just kind of a gradual, nice little slope here. Little boosts, lots of boosts. And this is just to kind of separate the left from the right. By that I mean something different is happening on the left side, and the right side are just a little bit different, so it gives the illusion of width without actually causing any phasing issues. It's pretty cool. I learned it from, I'm not actually sure where I learned it from. Anyway, it's cool. I like it. And obviously I let Ozone do its thing and find its dynamic EQ points that would interfere with the mastering, or with the maximizer. Alright, so these are the settings that I chose for my maximizer here. I really like the transient setting the best. I've tried modern, I've tried classic, I've tried all these other versions. The one I settle on for at least hip hop and rock is transients, especially if I'm really getting the drums to pop. I really want to settle on the transient setting here. Now, this you kind of got to do by ear. Now, I don't like to have a lot of transient information that's on the sides unless there are a bunch of percussive elements just adding to the whole ambiance of the track. So I kind of try to keep this compressing, or limiting the transients as, more of a stereo function, or more of a together function, more of a mono function instead of stereo. I like the sustained notes because I have different things happening on different ears a lot of the time with hip hop. I like that to be in stereo independent more. Like emphasis on transients, obviously, I'm trying to bring it out. But here, let's do a bypass of the gain match. Let's check it out.
Like a new suit off the rack. same. I'm a way different picture, way better frame. Slick with the verbs, quick with the words. I'm a striker nerve. You think I'm telling birds? Like the way it swerve, broke bitches getting curved. Fuck eating perks. I'ma smoke my herbs. I'm a breath of fresh air. Yeah. Pull up a chair. You gon' wanna fuck with me. Can't hate me if you want it. When the world on it, 'cause you gon' wanna fuck with me. I'm a breath of fresh air. Pull up a chair. You gon' wanna fuck with me. That for sure. Can't hate me if you want it.
And here's where it cuts out to just the beat.
You know.
Okay, now I'm gonna explain that because, like, to be honest with you, that all that instrumentation right there doesn't really make sense, but it makes sense on Grip's verse because that's exactly what I did. I just copied and pasted it over. But I've got a lot of stuff just deactivated, and you'll see that when I bring it up here, and I'm about to do it right now. Let's actually export this, and I want an MP3 copy of it too. Let's do 7. Boom. All right. So now, while this is exporting, I'll explain a little bit. So we were going to have a feature on the second verse, and now the artist might have changed his mind. I might have convinced him that the song is too good to have somebody else get on it unless they're really that good. So he might have listened to me. He might have still, if we find someone who's good enough, I mean, obviously, but this is a really good song. I'm really liking working on this track. I did produce the beat, and I'm about to bring up the actual project file here after it's done encoding in about 10 seconds. Alright. So let me open this up here. I'm going to save that. Of course I'm going to save that. It might take a couple of seconds to open up. I mean, it is a big file. This chair is kind of squeaky. Yeah, this is by Grip de Bodyrocka, and the song is called Fuck With Me, but it's not even released yet. I don't know when it's going to be released. I'll keep you posted. I'll let you know. He's actually on his way back from Indianapolis. They played a show out there. It was, supposedly it was a good time. One of the artists might be going on tour with him in the near future, too. So that's cool. Oh, man, I really wish this thing would open up. I'm getting anxious. I want to show you guys. Alright, so let me switch over to it in a second. Okay. Let me do something here quick. Alright, now I can switch over to it. Alright, so here's the production. And I know it looks like a lot, but it's really not that much. It's just a couple of instruments. A lot of the tracks in here, like these, are muted tracks. They're the remnants of what was there. I muted it after I turned it into audio, and I just kept the audio. This track isn't even supposed to be on either, so it's just a whole bunch of muted tracks. That's all it is. There's this sound, there's this, which is part of this sound, and there's this, the 4 drum tracks, and then the vocals. That's it. This drum track here is actually just to bring into Melodyne to align the vocals a bit better. This is what I was gonna show you. Okay, so there's a point in time when you have to decide. It's all about taste, all right? So there's a point in time when you gotta decide what is the focal point. And so when I was recording this with the artist, I wanted him to do a whole lot of takes. So we got a whole lot of takes down here. We got like 6 freaking takes, and I could take a bunch of time and line them all up and tune them all and make them all sound really, really nice. But we also recorded power phrases here too, which really emphasized everything. And I kind of took a stylistic decision and deleted some of the words because they weren't exactly all perfectly lined up with everything else. And you'll hear like one ear, it would be elongated, and the other ear, yeah, it just yeah. So I made some decisions like this, took this out, and yeah. So basically, let's hear what this sounds like. So what I was getting to actually, the focal point. All right, so everything. Let me just mute the power phrases because this is actually, let me mute the ad libs. Okay, so listen to this.
Rip for fresh air, pull up a chair, cause you don't wanna fuck with me. Can't hate me if you want it, when the world want it, cause you don't wanna fuck with me.
It just feels like there's something missing, almost like there needs to be a bigger focal point. And that's what I decided these ad libs here, again, really make this song sing. Listen to it with the ad libs in now. I made them the loudest point of the vocals. So, and what's really cool is it switches in the verse. The loudest point is obviously the verse, and the ad libs are the exact same volume, so it just kind of like carries into it. It's like he's got a bunch of him singing along with himself, and he's just amping them all up as a hype man, doing ad libs. And then, comes in, he just gets on the mic and just rips the verse out. So let's just listen to this and try to listen for that, all right? I'll start it right here.
Fresh air, pull up a chair, cause you don't wanna fuck with me. That for sure. Can't hate me if you want it, when the world want it, cause you don't wanna fuck with me. You know, fly press like a new suit off the rack. Private jets with a new coupe in the back. Keep a vest, niggas dying, got proof of that. Playing chess, drop the roof, where my shooters at? Matter of fact, how they act when I make it rain. 100 racks in 100 packs, leave a stain. The niggas that you used to, no, we ain't the same. I'm a way different picture, way better frame. Slick with the verbs, quick with the words. I'ma strike a nerve, you think I'm telling birds. Like the way it swerve, broke bitches getting curved. Fuck eating perks, I'ma smoke my herb.
Listen again.
Yeah, pull up a chair, cause you don't wanna fuck with me. Can't hate me if you want it, when the world want it, cause you don't wanna fuck with me. I'm a breath of fresh air, pull up a chair, cause you don't wanna fuck with me. That for sure. Can't hate me if you want it, when the world want it, cause you don't wanna fuck with me. You know.
Okay, so I'm at the point where I'm hearing things now, and I want to fix them. So what I'm going to work on doing right now is I'm going to work on these ad libs. Now, they look pretty consistent in waveform, but they don't sound consistently loud. So here's what I like to do. Because I copied and pasted everything, all I got to do is fix one thing. Now, I'm not saying you should copy and paste everything, because that's how you get boring songs. But this song didn't call for anything amazingly special. What was special about it is the message. Really. So, anyway, it's got a catchy rhythm. I like everything about this track. He doesn't say anything that's dated. This could be played in 10 years from now, and it'll still hit, which is going to be hard to top with the second verse, and that's what it's going to be a little difficult, So he's gonna have to work hard at that. So let's listen to this here. Okay, so this yeah is too loud, so we're gonna lower the clip gain on that. And this yup. And now this get 'em needs to be louder, but we're already too loud. so here's what I propose. So we take this, we make a new track. All right, I take this audio and I drag it down. We make a new version of it. Now, I'm going to take a glue compressor like I do and make it into a clipper. And we're going to drive the audio up to it till most of the waveform is passed. Just see what this sounds like, all right? First of all, we're going to look at it in here.
Get 'em.
That is way louder now, all right? So now what we can do is we can lower this to desired volume with the rest of this track. Oh, it's also playing this. Let me just do this and mute this again. It's still a bit too loud, and it's a bit crunchy. Let's mess with this a little bit here.
Get 'em.
Okay, it's a little too crunchy.
Get 'em. Get 'em. Get 'em. Get 'em. Get 'em. Get 'em.
All right. But I kind of also want to just do something like this. And then we're going to freeze this. All right. Okay, so this note is not loud enough. We're going to give it the same treatment. And see, this is the boring part of making a really good record that people don't talk about. The little things. Okay. Now this sounds great. All right. So, all right, now everything is even in my ears when I'm listening to it. And see, this is why you can't always look at the waveform to judge loudness. You shouldn't look at the waveform to judge loudness. You should look at the waveform to judge where your transient peaks are at. You could also look at the waveform for lots of reasons, for phase issues, for just a bunch of things. But loudness is not something you should look at the waveform for. All right, so we corrected that issue. Okay, so get 'em is quiet and no is loud. We're gonna go like this. Okay.
want it. When the world want it, cause you gon' wanna fuck me. Can't hate me if you want it. When the world want it, cause you gon' wanna fuck with me. I'm a breath of fresh air. Pull up a chair, cause you gon' wanna fuck with me. That for sure. Can't hate me if you want it. When the world want it, cause you gon' wanna fuck with me. You know, fly press like a new suit off the rack. Private jets with a new coupe in the back. Keep a vest, niggas dying, got proof of that. Playing chess, drop the roof, where my shooters at? Matter of fact, how they act when I make it rain. 100 racks in 100 packs, leave a stain. The niggas that you used to, no, we ain't the same. I'm a way different picture, way better frame. Slick with the verbs, quick with the words. I'ma strike a nerve, you think I'm telling birds. Like the way it's swerved, broke bitches getting curved. Fuck eating perks, I'ma smoke my herbs.
So, and how I made the whatchamacallits, the ad libs, the not the focal point in the verse is I used a whatchamacallit, a harmony module. I just made two double voices. Put them on the sides, and then you get this.
Matter of fact, how they act when I that money fall. Stay them up.
As you can see, it's very wide sounding against the main vocal, which sounds like this.
Matter of fact, how they act when I make it rain. 100 racks in.
As you can see, it makes plenty of space for the lead vocal. Now, what else did I do here?
Flying press like a new suit off the rack. Private, you know, flying press like a new suit off the rack. Private jets with a new coupe in the back. Keep a vest, niggas dying, got proof of that. Playing chess, drop the roof, where my shooters at? Matter of fact, how they act when I make it rain. 100 racks in 100 packs, leave a stain. The niggas that you used to, no, we ain't the same. I'm a way different picture, way better frame.
So there's a second verse that's going to go here, and as you can see, I just literally copied Grip's verse here. Everything from here down was just copied. Well, down to like there. And that's cool. And up here was copied too. Up there. Command C, Command V over here. Sorry, I'm a little tired. I've been doing this a lot today. And yeah, so this little swell here was just made by me raising the music up and putting a fade in. And this sound was actually very interesting and hard to make. Let me find it. Okay. Here it is. Let's check it out. Now without the audio effect rack that makes all the whooshy sounds, it sounds like this. Now this effect rack pulls all the weight in this sound. See, I got bored with like all of the other stuff that I was doing to make sounds, and I started making interesting things with reverb and making the reverb kind of move, putting two different reverbs in, you know, one reverb in one ear and one reverb in the other ear, creating this nice little atmosphere that just kind of makes you feel good inside. I don't know. I like creating little atmospheres that just underlying everything else that you can just barely hear. That's just like a touch, you know? And I feel like that adds so much to the music and keeps it from sounding empty, but not too dense, you know what I mean? This is like a light sound. Oh, this sound here. Is three sounds here. Here, this is one sound. And then I got this piano. Then I got this vital sound that I made. Let's actually check it out. Let me look at what's going on underneath the hood here. Okay, so. Oh, it's my World Strings patch. I like it. What does it sound like with all of the dangerous EQs off? Oh. Wow, adding all that bass. Listen to that. Let me turn this up a bit so you can hear it. Now I'm going to turn all the bass stuff on. Alright, with all that added bass, so all those three sounds kind of make up that one tone. Now what I could have done is I could have took and made those three notes, right? And this is what I would do if I'm trying to make this into like an instrument or something that you can play on any system. What I would do is I would take and I would sample just a C with these three instruments. Like I would just play these three together, right? And I would play a C note, just that one C note, and then I would play C note in every octave, and then it might have to do more. Yay! Hopefully this works. I have no battery. It is on the charger. Hopefully it's still... Oh, I hope it works. It's okay. We can end this stream in like half hour. Alright, so what I would do is I would take and just make a new audio track, right? Let's just make some... Alright, hold on. We're going to play these three tracks together. Okay, and I'm going to take and I'm going to make a MIDI clip right here. So I would span it out for like at least a measure. And I'll just bring it up to each of these. Then I would set this to resampling. Alright, hit record, and then it should be recording just that. Oh, shoot. I have these an octave higher, don't I? Hold on. So... Okay, let me just. All right. That's perfect. I'm going to take that and move it up here. And let's just see what these sound like. And that's the sound you're going for. Okay. When the sound dies out, take and trim this up. Not really sure if this is any useful information, but this is what I would do. All right, so I'm going to boost the clip gain of this so it's louder. Now it's played. All right, so there is your sound. Command J it. All right, so then what you can do, you can take and make a MIDI track, right? And you throw Simpler on there, or Sampler. And then you turn your keyboard on. Hold on. And then you put this sound into Sampler and solo this out. But as you can see, this isn't really a perfect system because as the higher you play, it shortens the note to accommodate the pitch. So you're going to want to record multiple notes and actually make like an actual decent sampler instrument or like a contact instrument if you want a good, you know, a good sample. But I don't like doing it this way. I like doing it the MIDI way and then kind of making the track like I did here. And you can see the evidence of this is much different and much better. Just mute all that noise, what I just did there. And just listen to this. See, and every sound is natural now. Every sound sounds like it's supposed to be there. All right, so I mean, I've pretty much gone over how I want what the rest of this track. Let's just save it and export it. We'll bring it into the mastering chamber. Hey, and I'm back. I'm back, bitches. All right, we're up and running in the mastering session. So I'm just gonna unfreeze this. Note that this was at 1.34, and then I'm going to bring. What the fuck did I just do? All right. Why did I do that now? That doesn't matter. I'm just gonna trim it up, and no one will be the wiser. There we go. All right, I gotta delete that demonstration shit that I did because it's screwing up my export size or clip length, whatever you want to call it. Blah blah blah. It's screwing up my blah blah blah. My blah blah blah. Turn warp off. Turn complex pro off. Minus 3.5. Let's give her a listen now.
Yeah, pull up a chair. You don't wanna fuck with me. Can't hate me if you want it. When the world on it, 'cause you don't wanna fuck with me. I'm a breath of fresh air. Pull up a chair. You don't wanna fresh air. Pull up a chair. You don't wanna fuck with me. Can't hate me if you want it. When the world on it, 'cause you don't wanna fuck with me. I'm a breath of fresh air. Pull up a chair. You don't wanna fuck with me.
All right. I hear one more error, and that's probably because I didn't listen to it good enough. Let's load this back up again. We'll save that. It's basically finished, but I want to make sure that this is finished on my end, so that when he sends it out to another artist, this is as done as I can make it with, with the way it is. Now, if he chooses to write a second verse to it, that'll be cool too, because it'll sound a little different because we recorded it on a different day. So it's going to give a little bit of different flavor to the second verse. I'm going to like that. I want to do something different with the music. I want to do a little different arrangement. This is going to be a fun one. This is going to be a fun track. And even if he has someone featured on it, I'm still going to do something slightly different with the arrangement than that's already there. Because I really like what's going on, but I think we can do better. I want it to change throughout the track. I'm really liking the fact that I have more creative control with the artists I'm working with now. And I actually get to choose the jobs that I work on now, which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I'll give it that. I got about another... Let me just load this up real quick. Hopefully it's going to allow me to do this without my camera dying. I'm going to look for the no. There it is. We're going to do this. Conjoin everything. All right, now I can export it, but let me delete that phony crap up here. Oh, save it first. Now let's export it. I feel so much better now knowing that I'm not getting mono output. Oh my gosh, that was a nightmare. So I don't know if you've been watching me for a little bit of time, but I've been using a couple different video capture cards, and the cam links transferred stereo audio. I know that because I can hear it back when I'm listening to it. It's stereo. A lot of my rock songs have a lot of stuff on the sides that'll sound kind of phasey when put in mono, and the you know, you can definitely hear when a rock song is in mono. So a lot of my older videos that I have are accurate. They're good. It's not in mono, it's in stereo. But ever since I got these USB 2.0 devices to make my computers run better and support them better, ever since that's happened, I've had nothing but issues. So hopefully we can get this exported and the next track or the mastering session opened up and we can finish this track on my end. If we finish this track on my end, I can send it to the artist and he can decide whether he wants to make a second verse or send it out for a feature. Now, because it's so well done, we could probably attract bigger artists. It's got potential. So I wouldn't say no outright to a full-on feature, but I would opt to say, hmm. Well, let's just say that the feature's good enough. He should do the feature. But if the second verse outdoes the feature, then I don't see an issue. All right. So now we're opening up the master. Oh, I will not be streaming next weekend. I will be streaming probably Monday after I get back. I'll be taking a much needed vacation. All right. So, where was I? Oh yeah, I'm doing this. Perfect. Now I don't know how to say this, but my songs don't normally look like this. But a lot of hip hop songs I've been doing, I've been leaving lots of room for elements and just spacey things. Let's listen to this again now.
You gon' wanna fuck with me. Can't hate me if you want it. When the world on it, 'cause you gon' wanna fuck with me. I'm a breath of fresh air. Pull up a chair. 'Cause you gon' wanna fuck with me. That for sure. Can't hate me if you want it. When the world on it, 'cause you gon' wanna fuck with me. You know, fly press like a new suit off the rack. Private jets with a new coupe in the back. Keep a vest, niggas dying, got proof of that. Playing chess, drop the roof, where my shooters at? Matter of fact, how they act when
All right, I wasn't listening, so that's bad.
I'm a breath of fresh air. Pull up a chair. You gon' wanna fuck with me. Can't hate me if you want it. When the world on it, 'cause you gon' wanna
That's it.
fuck with me. I'm a breath of fresh air. Pull up a chair. You gon' wanna for sure. Can't hate me if you want it. When the world on it, 'cause you gon' wanna fuck with me. You know.
Okay, this beat is fire. I did do a great job making the beat. All right, I mean, unless anybody can think of anything else that they want me to do, I'm probably going to end the stream a couple minutes early. Let's just click back to the talking in the camera. Anyway, I guess that's been the stream. I'm going to export this. I think it's done. Or as done as I can make it without any more stuff. I mean, I could just repeat the first verse, but it wouldn't sound very good. 7. Oh, we've already got an 007. Let's try an 008. We don't have an 008. So this is the 8th rendition. And now is when I like to check my song on other systems. Now I know it sounds good in the room here. I know it sounds good on these ATX or ATH M50Xs. All right. I know it sounds good on these AirPods because I was messing around with it earlier. Maybe not exactly what I was doing now, but for the majority, I didn't mess with the bass at all, so it should still sound the same. Now, I do need to listen to this into some bass heavy systems like cars that have a significant bass boost, like my girlfriend's car or my artist's car, Lincoln, that he's driving right now. He's said it was hitting bumping a little too hard. I was like, well, that's weird because it barely bumps in this car. But see, this is why you gotta check it in a lot of different systems. Now, after a while, you'll just know what sits right, and I get a pretty good rough estimate, doing it in a bass heavy vehicle. So I try to find a bass heavy vehicle like my girlfriend's car, and I test most of my stuff there. All right, it's done exporting. Now for the final listen. All right.
I'm the one. I'm a breath of fresh air. Yeah. Pull up a chair. Pull up. You gon' wanna fuck with me. Can't hate me if you want it. When the world on it, you gon' wanna fuck with me. I'm a breath of fresh air. Pull up a chair. You gon' wanna fuck with me. That for sure. Can't hate me if you want it. When the world on it, you gon' wanna fuck with me. You know, fly press like a new suit off the rack. Private jets with a new coupe in the back. Keep a vest, niggas dying, got proof of that. Playing chess, drop the roof, where my shooters at? Matter of fact, how they act when I make it rain. 100 racks in 100 packs, leave a stain. The niggas that you used to, no, we ain't the same. I'm a way different picture, way better frame. Slick with the verbs, quick with the words. I'ma strike a nerve, you think I'm telling birds. Like the way it swerve, broke bitches getting curved. Fuck eating perch, I'ma smoke my herbs. I'm a breath of fresh air. Yeah. Pull up a chair. You gon' wanna fuck with me. Can't hate me if you want it. When the world on it, you gon' wanna fuck with me. I'm a breath of fresh air. Pull up a chair. You gon' wanna fuck with me. That for sure. Can't hate me if you want it. When the world on it, you gon' wanna fuck with me. You know.
All right. Sounds amazing. All right. Yeah, I can't believe I mixed that record and produced it. I did everything on that record. I engineered it, produced, mixed, wrote the music behind it. I didn't write the lyrics. Obviously, that's Grip's specialty. He's good at lyrics. But yeah, that's what we're working on right now. I got another couple songs we're working on. I mean, I got like 30 or 40 songs we recorded that I have to work on, and a whole album to mix that I have only touched 2 songs on. So I mean, we still got I Go Dumb to work on, and we're gonna do that. But he wants to redo that verse, so we're gonna probably redo that. But yeah, it's starting to sound pretty good. So anyway, see you guys next week.